Just going to go through some tips now to help you with your kettlebell swinging. The first one we're going to look at is spine position. It's really important that you make sure that you keep a neutral spine throughout, that there's no bending forward or flexion of the spine. So if I turn on the side, I'm going to show you the right way and then the wrong way. So correct is having the spine in one line. Everything's lined up, neutral position, perfectly safe. What you don't want to do is have any rounding through the upper back or lower back. So anything that looks like that is completely unsafe, and you need to avoid that sort of movement at all costs because you will injure back to it that way. Okay, the next thing that we're going to think about is applying tension. Now, with your kettlebell swings, you should be relaxed when you don't need to be applying tension. If you're applying tension all the time, it's just really inefficient. So, the point where I'm thinking about applying tension is when I'm extending my hips. So, that point there. See when the hips come through? With a little bit of tension, I'm only swinging an 8 kilo bell, so I don't need to apply heaps, and that's the other thing. You need to moderate the tension you apply for the bell that you're using. For an 8 kilo, I don't need really that much. But this is just a better way to move. It translates better to athletic movements, and it's good to understand the difference between relaxing and being intense. It's a skill that everyone needs. So, the next one that we're going to look at is glutes. Really make sure that you fully extend your hips at the top of this movement. Use the glutes to power it. Most powerful muscle group in your body, and this way you're taking any load off your lower back. So you can see, hips come right through. What you don't want is this sort of action here. So it looks okay, but my hips aren't fully extending. My glutes aren't doing their job, and in that case, the lower back will take on too much work and probably get quite sore. What I also want to look at is not lifting with your arms. Really important. The arms are just holding onto the kettlebell. They're just there to support it. They're really not doing any of the work in the swing. So, don't want any of this sort of action here. You can see, if I do it from the side, I'm trying to lift up with my arms rather than using my hips. If I do it correctly, the kettlebell should just be an extension of my arms. As you can see, my body's pretty relaxed. I'm really not doing very much work with it. The hips are doing everything. Next, we're just going to have a quick look at standing up rather than leaning back. So by this I mean at the top of the swing, you want to stand up straight rather than leaning right back. So you don't want to be leaning back to try and generate power, obviously it would be too much pressure on your lower back. Okay, the last one that we're going to look at is once you get a little bit more comfortable with the swing, you can start using the pre-swing. So what you can do is have the kettlebell out in front of you, come down to this position here, and then swing back to get started. Do one on the side for you. Really important if you're going to get into this position here that you make sure your spine stays neutral, so don't bend forward at any stage. So you can see spine is neutral, swing back, and that gets you started with that pre-swing. So, there you go. There are some tips to help make sure that you're swinging safely